Hello, Scotty Reed here with a Black Talk Radio news report and commentary. And on this particular report, I just want to weigh in on all of the outrage at these children being separated from their parents, where these parents are bringing children over the border. Sometimes these children are not even accompanied by an adult, but sometimes they are, and they are separated by their parents. That's been dominating the news for about a week now. And let me just state this. I am outraged at the Justice Department's decision to separate these children, but this has been going on for quite some time. There was a picture that was circulated of some children that was placed in some cages, and that was during the Obama administration. And Obama had deported more immigrants than Bush had deported, but there was no outrage or concern about these children or immigrants. Now, here is what they're missing, though. They're missing the root cause of this. The reason that parents are sending their children unaccompanied, seeking a political asylum from violence and what have you in their home countries is because of U.S. policies and actions in those countries that have destabilized those countries. Take, for example, the military coup in Honduras that was supported by the Obama administration. And Hillary Clinton, you can find video of her after the military coup saying that Honduras is now open for business. And there was a couple of high-profile murders of some activists down there. Okay, so the United States has been supporting the destabilization of these people's countries that are coming here seeking political asylum. If we just look across the border to Mexico, again, if we look at the Fast and Furious gun walking scheme and allowing thousands of assault-style military weapons, let me rephrase that, allowing weapons to go across the border in some kind of scheme, like you're going to be able to, when these guns are used in murders, we can then connect them to the cartel heads and build a case against them. So that was a policy that was more than willing to feed into or contribute to the violence in Mexico, which over the years had seen tens of thousands of deaths related to the drug war and cartel violence. And again, it's the drug war that is not only fueling the violence in the United States with these gangs battling each other, just like they did, the mobsters battled each other in Chicago for control of alcohol distribution during Prohibition. Same thing with the drug war. And at one time, I think it's the Organization for American States or something. It's some conference that they have annually. And some of these countries say, hey, we want to legalize cannabis, just like y'all legalizing cannabis in some of those states and whatnot. And the Obama administration, Obama himself told them no. Okay, told them, no, y'all can't do that. If y'all want to continue to receive taxpayer money in the form of military aid or whatever type of butter biscuits you're giving these nations, then you will leave the drug war in place. That's the root cause of these parents and these people fleeing their home countries and coming here seeking political asylum. So let's just acknowledge that right off the top. Now, here's my issue, though, especially with American news media. Where's the concern for American children? Yes, what's happening to these children, which is a form of modern day slavery and human trafficking via the 13th Amendment and putting people in prisons for profit. Let's not forget, most of these immigrants are housed in private facilities, and I'm sure they're working on obtaining more space. But let's also, recognize that we got a lot of children that are suffering in American prisons, American children suffering in prisons. I don't see any news reports about that. I don't see any mainstream media like CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, or anyone raising these issues about the abuse of American children in these detention facilities and in these prisons. So let's take a look at a couple of stories, shall we? All right. I did not see, let me pull up this post on Black Talk Radio. I published this, as you can see, back in March. I still have not seen the mainstream media touch this. CNN hasn't featured it, MSM hasn't featured it, but you had a prison whistleblower by the name of Dominique Mitchell who describes systemic abuse of children in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. Now, we were just looking at, this tweet that was sent out by U.S. News, a look inside a Texas shelter for detained child migrants, and everybody's talking about the deplorable conditions and treatment and all that. Well, where's the concern for American children in Texas being abused? So let's give a quick listen to this short video of this prison whistleblower, Dominique Mitchell. This report came out back in March, and I published it on March the 6th on blacktalkradionetwork.com.
I hope this does help change. I'm so passionate about working with the kids, and I truly believe I'm doing the right thing. I worked at the Courage Youthful Offender Program that housed kids aged 14 to 17 years of age. I worked for 4 years at the Courage program as a program supervisor, and in my first year, there was incidents that were reported to me of kids being physically abused by officers, in which I reported as soon as I found out. I was often told that that's not what we do. You got to be loyal to the Courage program. Officers would not be held accountable for doing that. And I told them from 2013 that I would not stop reporting any type of abuse or anything. It had to be investigated. I asked for the officers to show me the videos of the excessive use of force because too many kids were coming with bruises on them. There was incidents of abuse in the sense of neglect, not providing food. They weren't required to have 3 meals per day. They weren't getting that. On a monthly basis, I was sending emails, I need help. I was concerned about my own safety because I was getting threatened by officers in there that were telling me to mind my business, that this is security, it's about security. They told me if the kids shouldn't have brought their self in there if they didn't want to be subjected to this. So there was 4 years that I worked there. I reported abuse numerous times, and never was it reported to the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services, even though I requested the assistant director, the former program director. I asked the wardens to address it, to investigate it. No one ever did. Again, the culture of TDCJ is retaliation. You report something, more than likely you will lose your job, you'll be demoted. I was told oftentimes to keep my mouth quiet. This is security, it has nothing to do with you.
All right, so we do want to thank Dallas News for being one of the few media outlets to even report on that. And of course, that's a local news station there in the state of Texas, in the city of Dallas. So where's the concern for these children? Why isn't Dominique Mitchell been on CNN or MSNBC or any of these other cable news outlets and talking about the systemic abuse of American children in these detention facilities? So let's take a look at another story. This is a story that didn't get much attention, but there was a class action lawsuit by teens in the state of Michigan who were being raped by adult prisoners as well as being raped by guards. And some of them, female guards, were taking advantage of young teenage males in these prisons. And the state of Michigan, as you can see by this headline, wants to say, hey, people in prison don't have civil rights. Okay, thankfully, the Michigan Court of Appeals ruled that a state law that halted civil rights at the prison gate was unconstitutional. Now, I was surprised at that ruling because the 13th Amendment says that slavery and involuntary servitude is legal if a person's been duly convicted of a crime. So I was surprised that the Michigan Court of Appeals, so perhaps they're talking about the Michigan Constitution, and I have to take a look at Michigan again to see if they had that exception clause. But that's a favorable ruling. But again, where was the outrage? Where was the outrage when these teen boys filed this lawsuit? Okay, the ruling clears the way for a lawsuit involving more than 900 young men. Let's not call them men. They're boys. Teenagers are not men. To move forward, a similar lawsuit filed by women assaulted in prison cost the state $100 million. So again, I'm just, disturbed by the fact that the mainstream media, your corporate news outlets on your cable channels specifically, they're using these immigrant detentions and separation of children as a political football, as a political way to attack Donald Trump, and which he should be attacked on this. But where is their reporting on this Michigan lawsuit? Where's their reporting on these teenagers in Texas? Why haven't they had Dominique Mitchell on? So, I just want to bring that to people's attention. I'm just sick of the pseudo political outrage at certain things that's happening with the federal government when you don't even care about your own citizens. These people who are advocates for these immigrants. And again, I stand in solidarity with all victims of slavery and human trafficking. But where's the outrage for our own children? This has been Scotty Reed with a Black Talk Radio News commentary and report. If you support independent news, please make a financial contribution, a donation to the nonprofit-based Black Talk Media Project. Peace.